Howdy. We are talking coffee for the next 8 or 9 minutes. We're going to talk about the arguments for and against coffee. We're also going to talk about what methods of brewing coffee, what methods of coffee consumption are considered more healthy, what's considered dirtier, and clearing up misconceptions about, for example, instant coffee being less healthy, when actually evidence shows that it improves heart health outcomes, so reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease more than, say, a decaf pour over brew would. From the Coffee Talk YouTube talk that kind gentleman gave to us, I mean, I was resonating with how the liver health aspect is at play when you're consuming coffee regularly. The bitter quality to coffee is, we need bitter in our diet. There's sour, salty, bitter, pungent. There's umami. There's more flavors than that, but those are the main ones. But bitter is particularly beneficial for getting the digestive secretions going, stimulating bile from the liver and gallbladder. And, you know, I think we're not all stuck in the sad diet, standard American diet, eating sweet, carby, oily foods. But that being said, if you were someone who's regularly gets fast food, eats more processed food, don't try to, if you're someone who is that person, I wouldn't be convincing yourself why you shouldn't be drinking coffee. Like, evidence suggests 2 or 3 cups a day is going to be beneficial for maintaining healthier cholesterol levels, having better liver health, and supporting cognitive health, preventing things like Parkinson's, as the gentleman in the Coffee Talk YouTube video had suggested or stated based on evidence. Liver health, brain health. It's a no-brainer for me. Like, even the arguments that coffee is not beneficial for your health in some way, is there's still counter arguments to that. Like, let's say you're someone who runs more anxious, or you have anxiety. That morning cup of coffee on an empty stomach is probably not going to support your anxiety levels. It can exacerbate it. Like, the surge of caffeine, the caffeine spike, can arouse the nervous system and make you feel more anxious. A way around that, though, is, we can use the wonderful advice of Dave Asprey and try bulletproof coffee. If you're vegan, cool, don't use butter. But if you're not, get some grass-fed butter, ideally, or ghee. If you're lactose intolerant but can do dairy still, ghee or grass-fed butter, coconut oil or MCT oil, like the slightly processed version of it. Blend that in. It's a hassle. It's not quick. Creates extra dishes. It is loud. Yeah, the bulletproof coffee thing is not convenient necessarily, but between you and me, I'm hooked on bulletproof coffee. I've consistently drank bulletproof coffee almost daily, with the exception of the days that I just don't drink coffee or I just don't care enough to do it up, for the last 8 years. Keto and paleo was kind of a trending thing for me at the time, 2016, 2017, the time I'd moved up here to Victoria. Other things that I'm going to need to just touch on before I side tangent and let myself go down more rabbit holes is the method of brewing coffee and how that matters, what I would recommend, what I do, and also remembering we don't have to be perfect here. I love the humanness of just doing what you want and is accessible to you and feels good and is what you enjoy. Personally, I do a lot of percolator, stovetop coffee. Not necessarily the cleanest form. There's no filter, so the cholesterol, it doesn't take away those constituents within coffee that support healthy cholesterol levels, like decreasing the bad LDL cholesterol. But it's not the cleanest form of coffee as to, let's say, pour over coffee, French press coffee. Really the best drip, the quote unquote healthiest would be a regular caffeinated pour over coffee without the paper filter, but with the really fine metal mesh, upside down circular cone. You know what pour over is. I'm over explaining things, but that's kind of my job right now. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the instant coffee aspect is not as bad for you as people think. Sure, it's, go to Market on Yates, and probably the first thing you'll see for instant coffee is Nestle instant coffee. There's probably an argument for you as to why you shouldn't buy the Nestle product if you want to be someone who's thinking about ethics and what's going on behind the scenes, about that company. Talk about a bigger, more, for lack of a better word, gnarly corporation. Nestle has done all sorts of things that have been, I would argue, questionable for human well-being. And still there's arguments for what they've done, hiring door-to-door salesmen and women for Nestle baby formula in the 80s. Something my mom totally did, and to a degree fed us formula, Nestle baby formula. It was accessible. It was being offered to her. Yeah, some things you just can't say no to. French press, sick of it, tired of it, always seems too watery. Pour over, I feel like I have a lot of control with that. There's a meditative aspect, I find, of doing it. You don't need the fancy kettle spigot, but if you do, good for you. But as I was saying, the stovetop percolator is my go-to for that strong espresso type of coffee. But a lot of times brewing one when it's like pour over or espresso stovetop, one's not necessarily faster than the other. So I'll do them both at the same time and then throw them together, bust out the immersion blender and throw in some ghee or grass-fed butter and coconut oil and some salt to help support my electrolytes and like staying hydrated. Like there's that argument for coffee that it's dehydrating. It's not the strongest argument, but at the same time, the bitter and astringent quality to coffee does have a net draining effect on fluids. It has the diuretic quality. It has the carminative, like, liver supporting digestive secreting quality. Like it's getting digestive fluids moving, which ultimately exit the body via elimination pathways. Maybe you could drink a cup of coffee and be sweating a little bit afterwards, like right place, right time. So the argument for coffee being dehydrating, there is something to be said for that. Counteract that. Get your electrolytes. Drink a coconut water. I mean, it's the other arguments against coffee. I mean, there's the addictive quality for some people. Like my housemate here at the house, he rarely drinks coffee, and I'm a daily coffee drinker, so I'm like, occasionally I'll offer, but he's like, nah, like I can't trust myself with coffee. Like if he has a cup, he'll like need to make another or two, and for him it becomes a more difficult to manage habit. There can be some impulsion there. So yeah, if you're someone who has a quote unquote addictive personality, maybe drinking coffee isn't necessarily going to be the best thing for you. Maybe you try a delayed gratification approach and do the decaf. So it's less like buzzy. And as I was talking about earlier, if you're someone who does experience anxiety or is an anxious person or has diagnosed anxiety, whatever it is, try blending some fats in it. Like that decreases the caffeine absorption to be more slow released rather than spike of caffeine, energy surge, and then crash, feeling tired, lethargic. And speaking of tired and lethargic, the argument for coffee hindering your sleep, like negatively affecting your sleep quality, is one of the stronger arguments there as to why you should moderate or not drink coffee. But I mean, if you're arguing that, like you could also be just saying like black tea, green tea, like are you anti-caffeine or like what? Because at that point, if that's what the argument you're trying to make is that it negatively impacts your sleep quality, is A, you'd have to time it poorly, and B, like you drink coffee in the morning and maybe in the afternoon if you know you can get away with it. It's like, yeah, if you're having that 5 p.m. coffee, like you're gambling with like being able to fall asleep at an appropriate time. If your bedtime is 10, 11, 12, like, yeah, you might be up. You might be a bit wakeful at midnight. Yeah, that covers what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, but for me, there's not really any argument to get me to stop drinking coffee. Like, I don't feel guilty when I drink coffee, nor should I. That being said, there is the like, okay, probably shouldn't drink coffee first thing in the morning. Like, it's good to let yourself wake up a little, water the garden, get some sun on you. if you can. I totally sound like an optimized health like YouTube guy right now. Because I've never watched any videos about that type of, content optimization culture. But yeah, here I am. We're 15 minutes in. I was saying like 8 or 9 minutes I would talk for, but I'm letting myself talk. I hope you enjoyed listening, watching, and, checking out the moderate curation that I have here in the space. That being said, God bless and good night.